disease that can change everything in a moment. But being ready changes the story. It's knowing the signs, having a plan, and carrying epinephrine everywhere life takes you. Epinephrine is the only treatment that can stop a severe food allergy reaction known as anaphylaxis. It works quickly to reverse the symptoms and can save lives. As families and friends gather for the big game, we see what community looks like. It's one built on awareness, care, and love in action. Because readiness doesn't take away the risk. It brings back the joy. When you're ready to act, you're ready to live.
Visit foodallergy.org/ready to act to learn more.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
We are the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace. Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host, the Truth to Power, Kyle Walls, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. 833-212-1017. You can call in, text in, and share any thoughts on today's show. You can also watch and stream us live on the YouTubes. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Where you can give us a like, you can give us a share, you can give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows. Shout out to DJ Brother Z. Happy birthday. He's always on the ones and the twos. Shout out to Sherwin Hughes. Happy birthday. And always shout out to you, Truth Nation. Sherwin gave me some of them cookies. It's very sweet. Very, very sweet. But it was delicious. Happy birthday to them. I done got it on my shirt. Happy birthday to them. Before I came here, of course, you know, I'm always in a rush, Truth Nation, before I get here because I'm always somewhere doing something. And today I had to go to a meeting. Ooh. Hopefully I have some breaking news, some information. Hopefully a month from now I have some breaking news for y'all. Keep it locked. Keep it locked. I like diamonds. They're a man's best friend too. But with that being said, Truth Nation, it is time for the recap. We're going to do a recap the end of the week recap because I never got to do the weekend recap. So we're going to do a weekend recap here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth here on Truth to Power.
Truth Nation, we know you have a busy life and the weekend went by too fast. If you missed any of the headline stories, no worries. We got you covered on the top stories you may have missed. Tap in for the weekend recap on Truth to Power. Kyle, tell Truth Nation the biggest headlines they need to know.
All right, listen, Truth Nation. The last time I did this, ended up talking about the war the whole time. Not going to happen. Just quick update. I'm giving y'all an update on the war every single day. There's breaking news coming down that Russia is aiding Iran in its war efforts by providing intel. Russia is providing Iran with intelligence about locations and movements of American troops, ships, and aircrafts, according to multiple people familiar with U.S. intelligence reporting on the issue. The U.S. also has intelligence suggesting that China may be preparing to provide Iran with financial assistance, spare parts, and missile components. 3 people familiar with the matter said through Beijing, though Beijing has stayed out of the war up until now. So I'm just letting y'all know this right now. It's not a world war, but remember when we've been helping Ukraine. Well, I guess now Russia and China are about to try to help Iran. This is some interesting stuff. But next, Truth Nation, want to give y'all an update. The job numbers are out. The job numbers are out. In Truth Nation, 2025 was a rough year for the economy and the jobs. In total, in the U.S., we only created 181,000 jobs or 15 jobs per month in the year of 2025. Abysmal, not good enough. It was not good enough where we only had 181,000 jobs that we created. But in January of 2026, things were looking up. They were looking up. We got some positive news where we gained 126,000 jobs last month. That's a good step in the right direction, and unemployment rate stayed flat. So that was good. That was a good thing. And then, unfortunately, that job growth was not able to be sustained as the job numbers for February have come out. In our country, in the month of February, gained a total of, I'm going to play a game with you, Brother Z. Yeah, we don't play a game. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. How many jobs? He's snapping behind the scene. Listen, I don't give a damn if it's your birthday.
Just say the number, Kyle. I'm not trying to do all this.
Just guess. Just guess how many jobs we gained. Just throw any number out there.
20.
20. Well, 20 would be more than we gained. We lost 92,000 jobs in the month of February. Even Zech he tried to throw a random number out there that he thought would be low, and he said 20, and he was still off by 89,880 jobs because the United States of America lost, 980 jobs, excuse me. The United States, no, wait a minute, 91,000, Jesus. But anyways, the United States lost 90,000 jobs last month. That is not good. We lost more jobs than we gained last month, and that's the third time in the last 5 months, Truth Nation, that our country has lost more jobs than we have gained. The unemployment rate has ticked up as well to 4.4%. So this is just me giving an update and a warning based off what is happening with our economy currently. Also, a sad thing that is happening right now that is definitely sad, and I'm blessed and thankful that I don't have to suffer through it, but I do know individuals who are going through this right now. 25% of unemployed people in America have been unemployed for over 6 months, 6.5 months to be exact. That's a jarring number that a quarter of Americans who are unemployed, so it's only the unemployed bunch, a quarter of people who are unemployed have been unable to find jobs for over half a year. Could you imagine going through life not having a job for 6 months? Could you imagine going through life not being able to go on with your career for 6 months, not being able to feed your family for 6 months, not being able to get some of your needs or your wants for 6 months? So I always like to emphasize, Truth Nation, that when we're talking about these percentages and these numbers, that these percentages and numbers aren't just numbers, they're actually human beings. They're your neighbor here down the street in Milwaukee that we care about, that I care about in our city, that have been unemployed for over half a year. That is concerning. And something that is telling as well is that our country has become very dependent on healthcare and social assistance sector for our job growth. Last month, those sectors didn't do well, and our country ended up losing 92,000 jobs. And a reminder for those who say, well, the stock market is roaring. Joe Biden tried to say that, but the stock market is not the economy. It's not. And right now, under Trump, we may be in something that's called a yo-yo economy where things keep going up and down, up and down. And my frustration with all this stems from the fact that it is all, to me, self-inflicted. Policies from this administration have made our economy unstable. And with war happening in Iran right now, I expect for these March numbers when they come out a month from now, I expect for the March numbers to also be low. Hiring not to be where it is simply because of uncertainty. And it's unfortunate. Because, yeah, we can talk about it. You can hate and dislike Trump or dislike his policies and dislike the government. But Truth Nation, something that we have to understand is that when we're talking about job loss, we're talking about human beings not having a livelihood. So that's something that's serious. And in order for America to truly be great, we need to be running better. We really do. And so though I don't like this administration, I need this administration to win, because just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody I know, somebody you know, won't be negatively impacted by it. That's why it matters. The country's not being run very well right now, and something has to change. On to the next one, Truth Nation. Make sure y'all set y'all clocks. Daylight savings time is starting on Sunday, and I've never been this excited for daylight saving time in my life. I'm ready for the sun to be out a little bit longer. Because of this job that I have that I love, I don't get done with work until, I don't get off air until 5. So a lot of times I don't get to see outside from about 8:30 until 5, usually 5:30, 6 o'clock. And so I don't really get to see sunlight like that. And so I'm so excited for me to be able to see more sunlight coming up soon. Very, very excited about that. But moving on as well, I want to say good job to the Common Council. I want to be positive. The Milwaukee Common Council did a really good thing earlier this week for the community. And I told y'all earlier this year that this was the year of AI and data centers. I said that's what 2026 is going to be. They're taking center stage this year as many folks are becoming more aware and educated on what they are and the potential harms that they could cause in the community. And beyond the environmental harm they can cause for your energy, they can also cause for your energy bill to go up as well. And here in Milwaukee, We Energies is building a massive $5 billion power natural gas plant to handle the significant demand increase that we're going to see because of the data centers. Now, with this increase in demand, it meant that we, the customer, could see higher bills. But to prevent that, We Energies proposed a separate energy rate for these large data centers. Now, that sounds great. It's a great plan. It's a great idea. But the problem is that they set the threshold of how much energy consumption they have to be too high for them to have to pay additional money. And many companies are going to use that as a loophole and avoid going to that level of output of energy so they don't have to pay increased rates, which ends up hurting us consumers. So good job to the Common Council, who told the company that they are not going to allow for them to set the bar so high, and they want them to lower the threshold to guarantee that these companies can't try to find a loophole not to have to pay these additional charges. Now, in addition to that, We Energies was trying to get a cost split between data centers and we, the regular customers. They were trying to have it be a 75-25 cover cost of annual fuel. But again, our Common Council wants data centers to cover 100% of the cost. So I want to say good job to the Milwaukee Common Council for fighting for the city of Milwaukee. I don't think we understand how important that this is, because when there is more demand, prices go up. And when prices go up, as you all have seen this winter, it hurts our pockets. And so having the Common Council sitting here fighting for us is so important. Their job is to fight to protect us and protect our pockets. And I have been very critical. I can be critical of the Common Council and the elected officials, but I also want to praise them when they do what's right. And this is doing what is right. So I want to say thank you to them for doing what's right. Something else that they did that is right is I saw another really cool story from the Common Council. I'm showing some love. Today is Friday. I'm excited for the weekend, though it may be gloomy outside. It's still Friday. And I want to, again, shower them with positivity, because when they do something positive, I want to make sure that y'all can hear about it, Truth Nation. And this is a fluff story. I don't do too much fluff. But I saw a really cool story about Milwaukee, one of our, and I say our, and not just our. When I say our, I'm not just talking about the black community. I'm talking about Milwaukee. One of the civil rights leaders in Malcolm X. Did you know Did you know Malcolm X, a.k.a. used to be Malcolm Little, lived in Milwaukee as a young child from 1926 to 1929? Some of y'all may not have known that Malcolm Little, Malcolm X, lived in Milwaukee as a young child. His home was located on 1012 West Galena Street in Milwaukee, which was torn down many years ago, where now the I-43 freeway stands. And to commemorate and celebrate and recognize Malcolm X, the Common Council members, Russell Stamper and Lamont Westmoreland, are working to get a resolution, and the Department of Transportation plans to put a place marker under the freeway to mark the location of Malcolm X's home in Milwaukee. Again, fluff story, but cool. There's a lot of bad stuff we had to talk about this week. We're talking about a woman getting shot in the head, talking about somebody dying in a shooting at Aurora Sinai Hospital. We're talking about, well, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but we will be talking about reckless driving and people shooting guns from their car and getting caught on camera. We talked about the war in Iran. We talked about a lot of kids eating dog food because their teacher fed it to them in a school. A lot of negativity. So I wanted to start the show off with a little bit more positive news and things that we can all celebrate. And the last thing I do want to celebrate today, Truth Nation, I heard that the morning show talked about this as well, is MPS. Milwaukee Public Schools in the news for something so positive and something so great that we got to talk about it. Milwaukee Public Schools, class of 2025, achieves 72% on-time graduation rate. This is the highest rate in 16 years. This represents a great increase, steadily increasing from 64% in 2021 to now 72%. That's good. Now, the state is like 94%, so we're still lagging behind the state. But the fact that we're getting better is positive. And that's what it's all about. Rome wasn't built in a day. Y'all gotta understand there's so many barriers and obstacles and things that our students have to overcome inside of this community. And so the fact that we're seeing our students graduating on time at 72%, that is a positive, and I'm going to highlight it. Now, some of the top performing schools who have 99% graduation rate: Ronald Reagan College Preparatory High School. How about that? Go Huskies, right, DJ Brother Z? 99% of their students graduated from high school. That is something to celebrate. Golda Meir High School, 99% of the students graduated. That is something to celebrate. Rufus King International High School, 94% of the students graduated. Milwaukee School of Languages, 88% of the students graduated. In Audubon Technology and Communication High School, 86% of the students graduated. This is something we got to talk about. I talk about it a lot of negative. I'm going to say we always. I talk about a lot of negative because the negative is the things that impact us the most. But when there's positive, I want to shine a light on it. In Milwaukee, there are great things happening in our city. There are great things happening with your neighbor, with your family member, right here in the 414. So whether it's the Common Council fighting to make sure they can keep energy prices down as they should for us, the consumer, or if it's the fact that, we're going to have a historical marker that gets to mark where Malcolm X's house was here in the city of Milwaukee when he was a very, very young child, or if it's the 72% on-time graduation rate, which still needs to go up, but the fact that it is a 8% increase from what it was in 2021, that is positive, and we got to steady keep growing, keep getting better. Got multiple schools here with over 90% graduation rate, and you got 2 schools that have 99% graduation rate. Our top performing schools in the city will run laps around top performing schools in some of these suburbs and definitely some of these rural places. So we got to celebrate that. We can't just talk about the bad. We also have the great here in the city of Milwaukee, and that is fully on display. But 833-212-1017, that was your weekend recap, as in your weekend recap. And when we come back, Truth Nation, I'm going to change the mood. There was a story I wanted to get to yesterday that I didn't get to, but more importantly, I think it's so important. I'm seeing a trend, and even in that call that Winky and I had yesterday, where we got a lot of people who are anti, a lot of people that want to be negative when it comes to women and the LGBTQ. And unfortunately, something I don't like, it just seems like when it comes to protecting women and sexual assault, we kind of turn a blind eye to it. Not enough conversation about it. And shame on me, there was a story back in Oklahoma last year, where a boy was accused of raping and beating up a girl. And it was actually multiple women that he did it to. And he got a slap on the wrist when he beat up a girl and sexually assaulted her down in Oklahoma. And he got a slap on the wrist because his dad knew people. They were high schoolers. A girl was choked and slapped and raped in high school and sexually assaulted in high school. And the perpetrator got away with a slap on the wrist. Money, power, and influence shouldn't be able to allow for you to have the freedom to traumatize somebody and sexually assault somebody. And we got folks in our own government that traumatize somebody so bad that they set themselves on fire. I'm going to talk about that coming up next. It's Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it locked. We'll have more next.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Versity on King, we believe taking care of our community starts right here, together. Every day, neighbors step up to donate blood, helping save lives in Milwaukee and beyond. But Versity on King is more than a donor center. It's a place for health education, community connection, and support, especially for families facing conditions like sickle cell disease. When you donate blood, you're not just giving. You're showing up for your community. Visit versity.org/VersityOnKing to learn more or schedule your donation today. Versity on King, rooted in community, powered by hope.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Y'all know I love me some Steinhoffels. I got a beautiful mattress, a great couch from there. Family got another mattress from there, and I want you to be able to enjoy Steinhoffels, especially during their Steinhoffels Make It Your Own event. Creating furniture that fits your style is easy. Choose your fabric, select your finish, and add the details that make it yours. Right now at Steinhoffels, you'll save at least 10% off store-wide. Then you can take another 5% off special orders in stock items, $9.99 or more. And if you need design help, you can get up to $200 off Steinhoffels Decorating Solutions packages. Shop in store or online at steinhoffels.com. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Now, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. We can give us a like, you can give us a share, you can give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite 1017 The Truth shows. It looks like people are excited about the Shamrock Shuffle happening this weekend. You know, I've participated, but I've never paid to participate. Sometimes I regret not getting a little bit more buck wild in my youth. I let money get in the way. But oh well. But you can also call in at 833-212-1017. Now, I was so excited at the start of the show, but now, you know, just so many things that happen in this world. And in Truth Nation, I just feel like we need to do a better job of protecting women. And I don't want y'all to ever call me a feminist because I'm not. Don't call me an ally because I don't roll that way. I don't describe myself with that type of language. I'm politically correct, but I ain't that PC. When it comes to how you want to be called, listen, if you're a transgender and you want to be called Samantha instead of Samuel, I'm going to call you what you want because that's what you ask. I don't need to ask no questions. It don't matter to me. I just consider myself a decent human being. At least I try to be. And at times I can say some things which may rub people the wrong way and groups the wrong way, but I still care about the well-being of humans, and I refuse to allow my beliefs to ever infringe on anybody else's freedom. That's something I won't ever do. I don't think it's right because I don't want anybody to infringe on my freedom or my right and free will, so I'm not going to do that to somebody else. Live your life how you would like. I also believe it's important for us to stand up for people and protect people, specifically women. That's why I'm completely disgusted by all the things I've heard in the news of late that deal with basically people taking advantage of women. And so there's a story that came out a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to get to it, and I was going to get to it yesterday, but then y'all wanted to talk about Tellerico and James Crockett. And Jasmine Crockett. But I wanted to talk about this yesterday. There's more news that came out, but I think it's important that we had this conversation about how manipulation and how power can lead to tragic endings. That's what I really wanted to talk about. And there's a Texas congressman named Tony Gonzalez who was having an affair with his staffer. He initially denied it and waited until after his election on Tuesday night down in Texas to finally admit that he was having an affair. Now, this Republican congressman is a married man with 6 children. 6 kids, and chose to have an affair with someone who reports directly to him, someone who in the workspace would be inferior to him, someone who had power, someone he had power over, and someone who could dictate whether she was employed or not, dictate her livelihood. That's a lot of power, a lot of manipulation that can happen. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act super, oh, this is crazy. He cheated on his wife. Let's be honest. I ain't going to act like that don't happen now. That'd be disingenuous of me, and that ain't who I am. I'm not going to act like people don't cheat on their wives. People have affairs all the time and cheat on their husbands. It happens. But the problem is this affair may have teetered into the area of harassment where someone no longer wanted to be a part of it, but they felt like they had no choice but continue on with it. That's when it becomes a problem. When you slip into the air of sexual harassment categories, that is a problem. And in the case of Congressman Tony Gonzalez from Texas, it ended way worse than anyone could have imagined. In a horrific tragedy. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube or turn up your radio to hear the KSAT in Texas news story.
And first at 5, we begin with new revelations after the death of a staffer for Congressman Tony Gonzalez. She set herself on fire, you may recall, in Uvalde back in September. And KSAT investigates Daniela Ibarra has been following this case ever since.
Well, today, the attorney for the husband of Regina Santos Aviles spoke with KSAT Investigates. The couple separated after Santos Aviles' husband discovered that she and the congressman were having an affair, according to that attorney. KSAT Investigates Daniela Ibarra joining us now here in the studio after speaking with that attorney. This was his first TV interview, Daniela.
Yeah, Regina Santos Aviles' husband, this is Regina here, Adrian Aviles, he wanted to keep the affair out of the media. He wanted to protect their son and wanted people to focus on the work that she did in Uvalde. The Express News was the first outlet to report that an ex-staffer came forward with allegations about that affair. Now that this is out in the public, Aviles' attorney says they know this needs to be addressed. Santos Aviles died back in September after the medical examiner says she set herself on fire. Aviles' attorney, Bobby Barrera, says his client believes that's the result of treatment she got at work after colleagues learned about the affair. Barrera says Aviles learned of the affair back in June of 2024. He says the couple tried to work on their relationship but ended up separating in September of that year because of the affair. Barrera revealed that Aviles found text messages between the congressman and Santos Aviles.
Requests for photos, meeting times, locations, things of a sexual nature. The text messages clearly support that Tony was pushing her to send photos, to pushing her to communicate, pushing her into this relationship. So much so that she began to question why he, Tony, even hired her if the communications were always centered around her attractiveness.
And Aviles believes his wife took her life as the result of the harassment she got as other staffers learned about the affair. For months, we've tried to ask Representative Gonzalez about the alleged relationship. There should be some footage coming up where it shows us dodging his questions. We tried to get some answers at an event. There it is, back in November. He did not answer our questions that day. We also did reach out to his office 3 times in the last 24 hours. I emailed and I texted his spokesperson. I have not heard back from them. Gonzalez did provide the Texas Tribune with a statement, though. It did not address the allegations of a romantic relationship with Santos Aviles. He said in part, quote, "It's shameful that Brandon Herrera is using a disgruntled former staffer to smear her memory and score political points, conveniently pushing this out the very day that early voting started," end quote. Aviles' attorney told us that his client is hurt by Gonzalez's refusal to address this issue. He says that by not talking about the relationship, Gonzalez is, quote, "calling Regina a liar," end quote.
All right, Daniela, thank you very much for that.
The reason why this is so is sad. The woman set herself on fire. It's a horrific way to die. This is a sick tragedy and a clear abuse of power. But to sit there and say that trying to smear and use the name, it's just disgusting. It really is. It really is. This man lost his wife, and you try to flip it on him and saying this is coming out and tried to say it was a smear campaign. A smear campaign. A woman lost her life. She killed herself. He used his position of power to persuade someone into having an affair. That's unethical. That within itself is unethical, Truth Nation. And if I was caught sleeping with somebody, I had to report it. I hope I would get in trouble. It's ridiculous that this happened. And if you ask me, he should have resigned immediately. But instead of resigning right away, he was able to continue on with his job, and he is still on the job today. Today. He was able to continue on and campaign and got reelected to at least represent the Republicans. And he was able to continue on with his life as if he didn't play a single role in the mental state of this woman when she decided that she was going to kill herself. And what's crazy to me is that a lot of people sat up here and talked about the Coldplay cheating scandal. Remember, we saw commercials about it, right? The Bears hugging each other. They actually lost their jobs. Y'all love to gossip about Will and Jada and the entanglement. You remember that, Brother Z, the entanglement? We love to gossip about that. We was all in their business. But like I said before, cheating happens on a day-to-day basis. There is someone you may know right now, who is texting their side piece, male or female. It may be somebody you know right now who's laid up with somebody ain't supposed to be, that ain't their spouse. So cheating happens all the time. I'm not saying it's right. It's bad. But what puts this one over the top is when someone potentially died from the cheating scandal or the harassment they endured. That's when it's a problem, and not enough people know about this story, and not enough people are up in arms. This man asked his staffer at 12 a.m. in the morning to send him explicit pictures multiple times while his wife was sleeping, while his 6 kids were tucked in for the night. Instead of taking care of his family, he was trying to see somebody else naked. And I cannot say for sure that this Congressman Tony Gonzalez was the contributing factor to this woman setting herself on fire. What a disgusting way to go. But I can say with confidence that the stress he added to her life contributed to her deteriorating mental state to the point where she got that bad. She was a married woman who got caught cheating with her boss, and her husband found out, and her family crumbled. The congressman played a role in being a home wrecker. The congressman played a role in their family breaking up. A congressman played a role in a house being separated, a child growing up with separate parents, and now the child has not a mom on earth. And based on the low moral character alone, he should have stepped down immediately, from my perspective. And the biggest reason why I want to bring this up is I'm sick of we non-politicians being held to a higher standard than actual politicians. That's what bothers me. Elected officials can get away with all this nonsense, but let us do something, we will get fired. And the fact is that my company has a policy and Congress has a policy as well. And this guy went against the policy, and despite all that, Truth Nation, what bothers me is that the man who committed adultery, the man who instead of taking care of his 6 kids was trying to hook up with his staff member, he was rewarded. He was rewarded by people like Donald Trump during this ongoing controversy, who decided to give him an endorsement. Trump said Tony knows the wisdom and courage that is required to defend our country, support our brave military veterans, and ensure peace through strength. Completely ignoring that the man cheated on his wife. A man who had an affair with a staffer and eventually killed herself received an endorsement from the president. And what makes it even worse is that all this controversy was happening and the constituents still voted for him. It makes me very concerned about just the mindset of a lot of people. People just don't give a damn. They really don't. Character doesn't matter. People put party over people, and I don't like that. 833-212-1017. I would love to say that this incident is an anomaly and isn't anything that happens consistently, Truth Nation. But I'd be lying to you. Now, y'all know I vote blue. I do, but I'm open-minded to most things. But there's a lot of predators in Congress, and I'm all about exposing predators. I really am. And I like to defend women. And when we come back, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm jumping on the elephant gang, as Tory Lowe would say, the Republican gang. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm jumping on elephant gang coming up next. I'm telling y'all going to be sick when you hear this.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Thank you, Milwaukee. Because of you, the second annual Truth Community Awards was an unforgettable celebration of the leaders, changemakers, and heroes who make our city shine. A special thank you to our incredible partners, Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Together, we're celebrating community, culture, and impact. We'll see you next year at the Truth Community Awards.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday count study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. Former Green Bay Packers president and CEO Bob Harlan passed away Thursday, March 5th, following a brief illness. Harlan was 89. The Milwaukee Bucks are firmly in 11th place in the Eastern Conference and are 5 games behind for the final play-in tournament spot. They sit at 26-35 on the season.
We may have to play different guys. We may have to go bigger because right now we're giving up too many points too easy.
Bucks are back at it at home against the Utah Jazz tomorrow at 7. In college hoops, UW-Milwaukee got blown out against the Detroit Mercy in the Horizon League tournament 84-63. UW-Madison has their final regular season game on Saturday against the number 15 Purdue. Marquette plays their final game against number 4 UConn on Saturday. Both Big Ten and Big East tournaments begin next week. I'm Nazir Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. That's because their agents will make you feel totally protected with a home and auto or life policy that's just right for you. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Visit amfam.com today to find an agent near you or to get a quote instantly online. That's American Family Insurance. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. Somebody asked on YouTube, which you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube, asked us, is the Truth Community Cleanup happening this year? Yes, the Tory Low and Truth Community Cleanup is happening this year on Saturday, April 18th. More news to come. Stay locked. Big day, March 16th. Get ready. I expect to see y'all there. Another big year for us. But again, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a share. And I'm talking about the fact that I'm tired of these elected officials being able to get away with nonsense. I'm talking about Tony Gonzalez, not the former football player. I'm talking about the congressman from Texas who just won his election, by the way. Who just won his re-election, despite the fact that he was under investigation for having a relationship with his staffer, which goes against ethics in Congress. But then on top of that, the woman he was having an affair with ended up lighting herself on fire and killing herself. Her husband divorced her, or they broke up, and she ended up killing herself. Now, again, I'm not saying that she killed herself because of him. I'm sure she had a lot of stresses in life, but I'm telling you this right now. Cheating on your husband, telling your boss that you don't want him to send you messages like that, asking for nudes in the middle of the night, and then your husband leaving you, and breaking up a family, that's a lot of stress. And she ended up setting herself on fire, and the congressman tried to act like, oh, I ain't had nothing to do with that. Now, the congressman, Tony Gonzalez, who had an affair with a staff member who got caught, he did finally resign yesterday, but not after all these months. He finally resigned yesterday because pressure was ratcheted up. It was ratcheted up. And shout out to some Republicans who were the ones that applied the pressure on their own. That's the stuff I like. The congressman tried to claim that he had nothing to do with any of this. He tried to claim he wasn't having he wasn't having no affair, nothing wrongdoings. He lied. He lied. But beyond this, Truth Nation, there was a bill that was presented by crazy Nancy Mace from South Carolina that I don't like her, but I liked her bill. And the bill would have released all reports and investigations into members of Congress regarding allegations of sexual harassment of staff or a relationship with a member on their staff. Now, to me, if you are elected by the people, if there's an investigation going into you, that should be part of public records. What's to hide? Just because you're accused of something doesn't mean you did anything wrong. That comes with being in the spotlight. If somebody accused me of sexual assault and the police came and talked to me, guess what? That might be part of somebody might get tipped off and find out about it, and y'all could be reporting it. Just like how Common Council President Jose Perez got his booty pinched, allegedly, by Marty Brooks, who oversees the Wisconsin Bear Dinner, the Wisconsin district. Somebody was able to do an investigation, and that came out. That's just the nature of being a politician and being in the business. Some of your business is going to get out there. But I'm glad that they had a bill to release all reports and investigations into members of Congress regarding sexual harassment. And you would think everybody would get on board, right, Brother Z? Everybody should get on board for it. If you ain't got nothing to hide, then release it. Well, Congress overwhelmingly voted it down. Not just Republicans, but Democrats too. And I just don't understand why this country loves to claim that they want to protect women, but they also were presented with an opportunity to protect victims and expose people's poor behavior, and they back down. Democrats and Republicans. The official roll call has not been made public yet, but I'm telling you this right now, Gwen Moore, the representative right here in Milwaukee, she better not have voted it down. She better have voted to support it. And if she did vote it down, best to believe, I'm going to ask her to come on the show. I'm going to have to reach out to her to figure out why she voted against it. Because the issue that I have is that you can't be all gung-ho about the Epstein files and talking about release the files, and show up to the State of the Union with a release the Epstein files on your chest. But then when you have an opportunity to expose everybody, which may include some of your colleagues on the left and the right, a lot of people said, no, we ain't going to do that. You cannot be gung-ho about releasing the Epstein files, but then sit quiet and say nothing when your closest friends and colleagues may get exposed. I ain't for that. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube to hear a reaction from Representative Tim Burkett, Nancy Mace, and Lauren Boebert, who are all Republicans, and this is their reaction to Congress, mostly Republican and Democrats, voting against releasing investigation information into sexual harassment or assault allegations to sitting Congress folks. Go to 1017 The Truth or turn up your radio so you can hear.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett. The House just did the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. We just voted to cover up sexual harassment of employees by members, if you can believe that. I got the sponsor right here with me, got Boebert. Y'all tell them what happened.
It's shameful. They voted against my resolution that would reveal members of Congress who sexually harass employees on the Hill, women on the Hill, in the campaigns, lobbyists, etc. Shameful. So I don't want to hear.
They sent it to the ethics committee. So a bunch of congressmen are going to investigate themselves.
So let it go get hidden, right?
Yeah, this is exactly where bills go to die. So her privileged resolution is being sent to the ethics committee for members of Congress to investigate themselves. And
I'm sorry, her voice is so annoying. Maybe am I sexist by saying that? Hearing her voice is just so annoying.
Remember, this is your
some white women's voices is just too much for me. She sounds like a Karen. I know she's speaking, like, I agree with what she's saying, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to listen to it. When I was listening to it multiple times before the show, I said, I just want to cut it off when she talks. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, because they're saying something that's so important. Go ahead.
Investigate themselves. And remember, this is your tax dollars that were used
in
this hush money.
Yeah.
Yes,
How many millions are in that thing? They said there's millions.
Some years there's like 4 or 5 million that went to a slush fund that paid for members of Congress with your tax dollars to allow them to go sexually harass people on the Hill. And then the second thing is I want to say is I don't want to hear another word about Epstein or Epstein victims by a single person, Republican or Democrat, that voted against revealing sexual harassment on the Hill.
Let's get that list. How many people? 49 of us voted to make it public, right?
Yep, to actually have transparency.
49 or 50,
and this is the crap that we see up here all the time. 10%. We are actually standing for victims. And we just saw with Tony Gonzalez, his staffer, who killed herself, lit herself on fire. The worst way to die. And this was part of the same fund that is being covered up. Did he pay her? Maybe she never got a check, but she doesn't have a life anymore.
You'll never know. Anyway, we need...
Listen... They're all three of them are weirdos. You could tell. They sound like kids. So I had some kids at my house during the Packer playoff game. Fortunately, unfortunately, because it was supposed to be a gathering, but it ended up staying for the whole Packer game. And I remember when they were trying to tell on each other, and I had to tell them, like, no, we don't do this. We don't do this. We love each other. It sounds very immature. But what we can't lose, especially one in the red jacket. That was Lauren Boebert. She's a weirdo. She was caught like 2 years ago in a movie theater doing something very inappropriate. They cut a hole in the popcorn box. Yeah, she's a weirdo. She's too old for that. But honestly, they're right though. They're absolutely right. If you can get beyond kind of their weird voices, they're right. We need transparency. You can't sit up here and talk about releasing the files and vote against this. And the reason why this all annoys me is because these folks are playing a game with people's lives. Lives. As a black man here in Milwaukee, I got to walk on pins and needles all the dang time. I got to almost do everything right so I don't get harassed or accused of anything. I tell you this right now. I was teased because, I came up during the era of Me Too. That was the Me Too movement was happening when I was coming of age in my 20s. And I always said, I ain't going to Me Too me. Why aren't you making a move? Because you not going to Me Too me. You need to explicitly tell me what you want, because you ain't going to have me caught up talking about social media. Oh, he touched me. Hell no. Hell no. Drag my name through the mud. And again, this ain't against, listen, I think you should believe people when they say they've been assaulted, but also believe you have your time in court. But I do not believe that Congress should be actively not trying to release to the public who's being investigated. You have a congressman or a former congressman who got nominated to be the Attorney General of the United States of America, Matt Gaetz, last year, who was flying a 17-year-old across state lines and sleeping with her. And I just told y'all how this congressman was texting his staffer at midnight asking for naked pictures. Let me see something real quick. Like, that's crazy. And the fact that we want to hide who's being investigated, listen, if it comes out that that it was erroneous, it wasn't real, the investigation, then announce it. Announce our investigation found that this was, unsubstantiated. Like, we couldn't find anything. Great. But you should not be afraid to release this information. You should not be. And it seems to me it was all good to release the Epstein files, but now when it's releasing stuff that got to do with your colleagues and your people, y'all got a problem with it. What they say? It was good. It was cool. It was cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it, right, Brother Z? But 833-212-1017. It's Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. If you have any comments or Kyle, we'll take the call after the break. Tell them to hold if they want to join in. But I'll wrap up the show on the other side. It's Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to NBA content creator, Legend of Winning. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Serious truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Make one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. Listen, Truth Nation, don't play around. If you get into a car accident, y'all know who to call. Call Gruber Law Offices because they will take care of you. I'm telling you, when I got in my car accident, I made one call, that's all. I didn't have to worry about anything, and they handled everything. There was no calls for me to call them, no calls for me to retain them as a law firm, and I never paid a single penny, and you won't pay a single penny until they win your case. Get with the winning law firm today by contacting Gruber Law Offices at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. It's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. You can visit them at gruber-law.com. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and I'm talking about the fact that, listen, we got a lot of politicians who are doing wrong by people, sexually assaulting people. You even had one politician who was trying to ask for naked pictures of his, or ask for explicit photos of his staffer, and she ended up going on to kill herself. But 833-212-1017, Alan in Milwaukee, what are your thoughts about this?
I agree with you. How are you doing today? Doing all right?
I'm doing great, Alan. Got about 30 seconds here for you. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, there you go. No, you guys are doing great. I think it's great. But remember a guy named Bill Clinton? All the women came forward about him, and they still seem to forget about the guy. They're all freaks, but you know who's not tied up in that?
Who?
Donald Trump.
What?
Donald Trump is the one guy.
Whoa, Alan, wait a minute, Alan. How is he not tied up in it? He was friends with Epstein. What are you talking about? He was just accused of he went on a 2-man with a 13-year-old. What are you talking about? Allegedly.
That's a lie.
How do you know it's a lie? Alan, how do you know? How do you know?
Because.
How do you know?
I got a pretty good radar.
What about Alan? What about E. Jean Carroll, who actually Donald Trump owes a lot of money for?
You gotta be kidding me! Come on, man.
What are you mad at me for?
Well, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at her.
Why are you mad at her?
That's the dumbest thing that ever happened to somebody.
Well, I don't know.
Because she's an idiot.
Well, can
she's
I ask
a liar.
Well,
she's a flat-out liar.
Okay, well, because you know. Wait, Alan. Wait, Alan. Just really quickly. So when Donald Trump said he heard that Epstein likes him quite young, what did he mean by that?
He meant to stay out of my club, and he shut Epstein down long before that.
No, you do. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Alan, wait a minute. Alan, do you know who Trump's security? Do you know who Bannon is? Steve Bannon. You know who Steve Bannon is?
Yeah, I know Steve Bannon. Of course I do.
Whose administration was he in?
He was in Trump's administration.
You know who he was.
And he got locked up for nothing.
And you know who he was emailing with? You know who he was emailing with in 2018? Planning out stuff with? You know?
Epstein.
Epstein, huh? So Trump hired somebody in his administration that was close with Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein is? Epstein ain't even real, man. It's a fake.
Oh, the lines broke up. Well, that was a great way to end the week here on Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed weekend. The Tory Lowe Show is up next with Wonderful. I want to thank y'all so much for chiming in, tuning in. Thank you for calling in throughout the week. It was a great week. We're going to have another fired-up week next week because there's always a lot of news to talk about. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Be safe.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness,